Hey everyone, and welcome. We're about to dive into something that's fascinated people forever, the near-death experience. But forget what you think you know. We're going to look at this through a totally different lens, one that ditches the mystery for some pretty mind-blowing science about what's really happening in the brain. All right, let's just get straight to the point. When you hear near-death experience, do you think mystical woo? Or could it be something way more logical? Like, what if it's the brain's own secret upgrade program kicking in? That's the big question we're tackling today, stepping away from myth and diving headfirst into the neuroscience. So, let's start our journey beyond the white light. And to do that, we're not going anywhere supernatural. Nope, we're headed to a place where consciousness gets pushed to the very edge, where scientists can actually watch this stuff happen in real time. We're talking about the operating room. Yeah, you heard that right. It turns out that these moments of extreme physical stress, think surgical anesthesia or even cardiac arrest, they're not just the end of the line. They're actually this incredible, unexpected laboratory, a window that lets us peek into the brain's deepest, most hidden functions.
Okay, so the brain under pressure. What does neuroscience actually reveal? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is really going on in there when the body starts to shut down? You'd think it just fades to black, right? Well, the science tells a completely different story. And honestly, it's way more exciting.
And this is the first huge shocker. Instead of going quiet, the brain actually lights up. We're not talking about random sparks or flickers. It unleashes this incredible surge of highly organized, super coherent activity. This isn't the brain failing, not at all. It's the brain kicking off some kind of amazing built-in protocol. And get this isn't just some vague energy. It's specific, it's measurable. When scientists hook people up to an EEG, they see these massive spikes in particular brain waves, theta, alpha, and especially gamma bands. And you know what those are for? They're the signals linked to seriously high-level thinking, things like deep memory recall, intense focus, and conscious awareness. This is not random noise, folks.
And this quote from a major study in PNAS just nails it. A surge of synchronized gamma oscillations. What does that mean in plain English? It means the brain is firing in this beautiful, coordinated rhythm, right in the areas that are the command center for consciousness. This is highly organized, meaningful stuff happening at the very moment we assume the lights were out.
Now this is where it gets really wild. Think about it from a single neuron's point of view. It gets an electrical signal, right? It has no idea if that signal is coming from your eyes seeing a sunset, or from this intense, internally generated brain state. It literally cannot tell the difference. So as far as your brain is concerned, this experience is 100% real.
And that's exactly why these moments stick with people so profoundly. The brain isn't filing this away in the dream folder. No way. It's using its premium filing system, episodic memory. That's the same system that records your wedding day or the birth of your child. It gets encoded with all the rich personal detail of a real-life event, which is why it feels so transformative.
All right, so this brings us to the aftermath. Actionable logic, not woo. Because this crazy brain activity isn't just a light show. It has real, tangible effects that last. This is where we shift from just a cool brain thing to an actual functional upgrade. And look at what people report afterwards. It's not just I feel different, it's a whole suite of cognitive boosts. A stronger sense of purpose and clarity? Check. Sharper logical reasoning? Check. A massive increase in determination and better cognitive control? Check and check. These aren't just fuzzy feelings. They are major upgrades to how the mind works.
So this is the big takeaway right here. Neuroscience is telling us to stop calling these hallucinations. They're an actionable state of heightened cognitive function. That word actionable is everything. It means this isn't just a passive vision. It's a state that gives you something you can use, a real, functional advantage back in the real world.
And we're not just talking about a software update, like changing your mindset. This is a hardware upgrade. It's all based on neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to physically rewire itself. The science points to actual physical changes in the brain's executive networks, the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain that handles logic and decision-making. The experience literally rebuilds parts of the brain to run better.
Okay, so how do we put all of these pieces together? We've got the brain surge, this is real feeling, the permanent upgrades. What's the connection? Well, a theorist named Dennis Verhaage has put forward a really elegant framework that ties it all together beautifully. The brain's controlled reset. The key idea here is something called bifurcation. The best way to think about it is like when you put your computer into safe mode to fix a problem. The brain hits this critical point where it starts flipping back and forth between off, unconscious, and this super intense conscious-like state. And it's that toggling, that flickering that allows it to do a full system reset and reorganize itself.
So the process breaks down into 3 simple steps. First, you have the disruption. That's the big event, like anesthesia, that hits the pause button. Second, reorganization. This is the magic part. The brain goes into that bifurcated state and starts rewiring itself, optimizing its core functions. And third, the payoff, enhancement. The brain comes back online, but better, with those upgraded cognitive skills. It's literally a controlled reset for better performance.
And here's what's so cool about this. The results of this reset, the sharper logic, the intense determination, they line up perfectly with another one of Verhaeghe's ideas, called the GO approach. It's basically a blueprint for high-level problem solving and mental agility. It's like the brain's reset isn't just random, it's specifically optimizing itself for this super effective way of thinking. It's retooling for mastery.
Now, to really understand just how deep this goes, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, to the word anesthesia itself, the philosophy of the reset, because hidden in its original meaning is a huge clue about what's really going on here.
So anesthesia comes from the ancient Greek anesthesia. We usually translate it as without sensation, but that's not quite right. A better, more precise meaning is a suspension of perception. See the difference? It's not about being wiped blank, it's about a deliberate, controlled pause of your normal senses.
And this is where Verhaeghe introduces this really powerful concept he calls syntax. It's the idea that anesthesia isn't chaos or a system crash. It's a structured suspension. The brain isn't just offline, it's in a state of deliberate, meaningful rearrangement. There's a deep, internal logic to the process.
And that brings it all home. This whole framework shows that a controlled disruption, a structured suspension, can actually create cognitive and emotional mastery. And the best part? It's all built on logical, scientific principles. This isn't about faith or woo, it's about observable neuroscience.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. If our brains have this incredible built-in ability to reset and upgrade themselves when they're pushed to the very edge, what does that tell us about the true nature of consciousness, about its hidden power, its resilience, and maybe, just maybe, what it's really capable of?